Weather Awareness Week. We've talked about those warnings that we typically see. We've talked about that wind chill that we typically see at times. Now today we're going to talk a little bit about what we do behind the scenes. We want you to know as much as we want to know what's going on, but we have to watch these models. So we typically watch several different models. So right here is a projected model of how much it might snow on a date that this is not a true forecast, but you see the range anywhere from 1 inch to 3 inch. So that's where we typically get our numbers from. So what we have to note though is that these are all predictions. These are not actual what we know is going to happen. These are just models. So that's what comes to a challenge, that this is all just a prediction from us, because we have to factor in things like moisture, the moisture content, what's happening in the upper atmosphere, what's happening at the surface with those temperatures. So always staying aware of social media and those updates that come, but also make sure that you know where your information is coming from, especially when you're on some of those social media sites. You can always though refer to the National Weather Service or your local TV meteorologist to give you that accurate forecast. Now, one of the big things that we talk about when it comes to winter is the precipitation type. In the summer, all it is really hail and rainfall. But when we get into these winter months, that cold air starts to work in. So this is what makes forecasting a difficulty when you have that rain to snow transition, as that's one of those forecasting challenges, because we start off by tracking that storm. Where's that storm going to come from? Where are the tracks that it has the potential to come through? Now, when those tracks, there is going to be different type of liquid ratios, how much moisture is in it, and then what type of moisture is going to be able to form from that system. Is it a colder core system? Is it a warmer core system? And that on top of it will then lead to the snow ratio on how much snowfall you see. Will you see that wet, soggy snow, or will you see that fluffy snow that gives us a few more inches? So those are the challenges. So we always want to tell you to look at that forecast from the beginning. We start to warn you almost up to 7 to 10 days out. So we take that from those current conditions and watch those models. But through that current conditions of 10 days out, there's so many different paths that we watch. Now we take that and we make one prediction and we put that in our 7-day forecast. But as you get closer and closer to the date, that's when those details become a bit more finer, more detailed, give you those warnings ahead of time. So that's why we always warn you to keep this forecast in mind. Tune to our newscast, tune to our social media that will have those updates on web stories. So we really want you to know that these forecasts are made to keep you safe, but they have some difficulties. We will not be 100% all of the time, but we try to do this to keep you on the safer side when it comes to these long range forecasts and watching these snow systems that sometimes can even be seen out to days in advance.